Right, okay, let's get started. We're going to have our hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Take a deep breath in, flex the spine, and then exhale, extend. Coming into your cat dog stretch.
Cat dog. Are we doing cat dog?
Cat dog, that's right. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Good. And you can hold that flexion, so you're holding that upper mid back towards the sky, keeping the shoulder blades wrapped towards the front of the ribs, and then you can hold the extension as well, setting those shoulders right down, and then flex. And extend, going for 2 more. Good, last one. And come to your neutral spine. Okay, you're going to bring that right leg out to the side. Take a deep breath in and reach your right arm up and back. And then exhale, reach your right arm underneath your left arm, lowering that right shoulder towards the ground. Inhale, rotate, reach up to the sky, open up the chest. Good, and then exhale, reach under. Last one, big reach. Reach under that arm, place the hand down, bring the knee back in. Good, and then let's switch to do the same on the other side. Deep breath in, left arm reaches up, and exhale, reach under that right arm, lowering the shoulder towards the ground. And again, inhale, opening up that chest. Might even feel a stretch around the back of the hip. Good, and last one. Perfect. Place that hand down, bring your knee back in. And I want you to lengthen your legs out so you're in a high plank position. Okay, from here, you're going to bend your knees and your knees are going to hover above the ground. Then you're going to extend your legs. So we're just warming up the core here. Engage the pelvic floor so you're stepping in, knees are hovering, and we call this a bear plank. Then you're stepping out so you're in a high plank with your legs straight. And your upper mid-back is lifted towards the sky, so you're rounding that back, protracting those shoulders. Good. Nice. Going for another 10 seconds. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. You're going to lie on your back now. And we're going to go into the glute bridges so we can fire at the back of the legs and continue to mobilize the spine. So lying down on your back, you can reach your arms up towards the sky, tuck your hips in and lift up vertebra by vertebra. Really squeeze the backs of the legs and then roll down vertebra by vertebra. If you do have a disc issue in your lower back, it's actually better just to lift straight up and squeeze the butt rather than articulate the spine. You're going for another 10 seconds here and then we're going to come into some marching and make it maybe just a little bit more intense. Good. Going for another 3 after this, and make sure your heels are down but your toes are turned up to the sky. And you may feel a little bit more activation through the back of the leg if those toes are turned up. Good. You've got one more. I want you to lift and hold. So to lift and hold those hips up in the air, really squeeze the back of the legs. Lift your right leg up. And then place that heel back down. Then you're going to lift the left leg up, place the heel back down. Keeping the hips as stationary as possible. You really want to try and maintain stability there through the pelvis. Good. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Fantastic. And you're here for another 6. Good. 5. Perfect. So it's a good exercise for the side of the stomach as well because you're using those core muscles, especially the deep ones, to prevent you from tilting. Good. 2 to go. Last one. Place the heel down, little pulses up for 10 reps. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Okay, bring the knees into the chest, give them a hug, and rock from side to side. Perfect. Right, you're going to come up onto your feet. And I want you to grab some books or your weights. You only need one. And we're going to go into curtsy lunges. So you fired up the glutes, now we're going to put them into a more functional exercise. So your right foot steps behind and across your left. You sink down, then drive up. So right foot behind, and then left. We're just going to work the one side right now, Trinny. So it's lower and lift. Tapping your right foot down on the ground when you come up out of your curtsy lunge. Inhale, exhale. Inhale as you go down, exhale as you come up. Good. And we'll add some pulses and make it a little more exciting. In round 2, we'll add a slight cardio element to it as well. How did you sleep last night, Trinny?
I slept okay.
Okay, good. Keep the weight in front of your chest, shoulders back, weight pulled in towards the chest. Perfect, you've got 4. Tap, go for 3, 2. You're going to lower and hold your next one. Little pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. You're going to put that weight down, and we're going to come into some side butt work. So we're going to work the outer thigh. Left forearm is going to be on your mat. So left forearm on your mat. Hips are back. Sorry, feet are back. Hips are tucked in. You lift and extend the right leg. Go for little pulses up with that right leg. So little pulses up. We continue to work the muscles around the hip, but this time we're isolating them.
Is my foot going downwards?
Yes, if your foot is down, you're going to get into the glute medius a little bit more. Lift the hips a little bit higher. That's it. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold it. Little pulses up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Lift those hips higher if you can. Lift that waistline. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so we're doing things slightly differently today. We're going to do the same leg all over again, so we're really fatiguing that one side, and then we'll switch to the other side, okay? So I want you to come up onto your feet, grab a sip of water if you need, and then we're going to go straight back into working your left leg. And of course, if you have heavier weights, it will make the exercise a lot more intense. But you can also play with speed to increase the intensity. So, weight in front of the chest. You're going to bring that right foot behind the left. This time, if you want, you can lift the knee. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift.
So the same one that we were doing before?
Exactly the same one. Exactly the same. So we're fatiguing this left side, and then we're going to fatigue the right side afterwards. So round 2 should feel a little bit more intense because you've been working the same muscles, and then you've isolated the glute medius, which you're going to do again. With that little leg lift, you have to really squeeze that left butt cheek so that you're keeping your hips tucked in and nice and stable. Okay, so inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. If you go fast, you're going to start to raise your heart rate a little bit. Good. Perfect. And try to keep the foot quite close to the leg. That's going to help keep your balance. 2 more. Last one. Now get low, hold it. 5 pulses down. So weight in front of the chest for 5. Little pulses. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Put that weight to one side. Left forearm on the ground, just as before. Knees stacked. Feet back, straight line through that torso to your knees. Lift the hips, extend your right leg. Turn the toes down on your right foot. You're going to lower and lift that leg. Lower and lift. And this time, you should be really feeling it in that left side. Quite a lot because you've done 2 rounds of this.
In the right side.
Well, this one, you'll feel both on this side, but that supporting side, you should really be squeezing that bottom glute. That left side, you should really be engaging to lift the hips. You're going for another 5, and then we've got little pulses. Good. 2, lift and hold your next one, Trinny. 10 pulses up. 10, 9, 8, 7, lift those hips higher. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, you're going to lie down. We're going to stretch it out for a second. Lie on your back. Good. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Sorry?
I said you certainly fatigued that side.
We reached our goal then. Feels good to reach a goal. Pull that right leg towards you. Good. Nice deep breaths. We're just here for a few seconds. And then before we go to the other side, we're going to do some ab exercises. And then we're going to do the other leg. So it's a little bit different than today's format.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, you can uncross that ankle. Place your feet down on your mat. And I want you to place your left hand behind your head. And we're going to come into that little reach around. So left hand is behind your head. You lift your chest, reach round towards your right ankle. So you're keeping your chest lifted and we're getting in a lateral flexion. And we're working the side of the stomach as well as the upper abdominals. Keep reaching around. And it's 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. That's it, perfect, Trinny. And the more you exaggerate the movement, the more you're going to be working those tummy muscles. So you want to encourage that intensity by reaching around as far as you can. You've got another 6. Good, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one on that side, and let's switch to the other side. Right hand behind your head, you reach to the left. You're going to reach right around, really feel like you're getting that engagement through the side of the stomach, top of the stomach, and then we're going to come into some lower abdominal work. Good, exhaling as you come to the center. Sorry, inhaling center, exhale to side bend. Fantastic, over halfway. Good, let's go for 4, go for 3, 2, 1 more, back to the center. I want you to actually lift your hips and place your hands underneath your hips, creating a triangle with your hands. Place them underneath your hips just to elevate your pelvis a little bit and extend your legs up to the sky.
Sorry, I'm doing a triangle under my pelvis. Okay, yeah, got it. So hands underneath the pelvis.
Shape and place it underneath your back area, the lower back, just to help elevate the hips a little bit. Okay, now turn the toes out, lateral flexion. Point the toes as if you're a ballerina. You're going to crisscross your legs down and then back up. Try and keep your legs as straight as possible. Because the pelvis is slightly lifted, it shouldn't be so grippy in those hip flexors and therefore come into the lower back area too much. You keep tucking those hips in, that's it, lower the legs and then lift the legs. And if you're feeling super strong today and you want it to be a tiny bit more difficult, you can try taking the hands away and continuing the exercise, lowering the legs and lifting the legs. Good, perfect, Trinny. You're here for another 10 seconds. Really tucking in, belly button drawn down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, nice work. Hands behind your head. I want you to lift your chest. And now we're going to go for little pulses up. So just tiny little movements. Keep lifting. We're going into that little crunch. So we've got the side of the stomach, the lower abs, and now we're focusing on those upper abdominals. Good. Keep lifting. That's it. So you're maintaining that contraction isometrically, which means those muscles don't get to relax. They just have to keep working. 15 seconds to go. Good. Lift that chest even higher if you can. Feel that you're getting all of the tension into those stomach muscles. There shouldn't be too much tension in the neck. Elbows are nice and wide. 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, turn over. Forearms down on the ground. Feet down. You're coming into a plank. Static plank. Upper mid back lifted, hips tucked in, glutes engaged. So now.
Sorry, I was doing it on. Sorry, I can't see what you're doing. You're a plank. You're straight plank.
So we're just holding a plank with our forearms down on the mat, hips tucked in, glutes engaged. A classic plank, but we're bringing in, or you're going to keep the lactic acid in the stomach, so you feel that the rectus abdominis working, those six-pack muscles, but now the deeper core muscles are also firing up here. And that is a perfect plank, Trinny. You've got a really nice straight line through the body, hips are tucked, and you can keep squeezing your bums, a little bit of extra glute work here. Nice deep breaths. You're also working the arms, the shoulders, and the triceps. Good. You're here for another 20 seconds. If you do need to rest within this time, you can put your knees down.
Oh.
It's tough, especially after all those ab exercises. You realise when you go into the plank how much you. Or you can hold the modified plank. 3, 2, 1, rest in child's pose. Completely rest for a few seconds. Then we're up on our feet, have a drink, and you're going into the, to work the other leg. So you're going to work the right leg. So have a sip of water, stay hydrated. And then we're into curtsy lunges.
What?
We're into curtsy lunges, so you need your weight. Grab that 3 kilos. We're going to work the right leg and the outer thigh, but on that right side. Weight is in front of the chest. Shoulders are set back.
And we're off at the races.
And we're taking a deep breath in, sending that left leg behind and slightly across the right leg. Weight through that right heel. Stand. Inhale, lower. Exhale, you drive up. Of course, as I said before, if your weights are heavier, this is going to be quite a challenging exercise. And if you apply some speed to it, it raises the heart rate a little bit. Good. And from the side, you keep your chest reasonably upright. You can rock forwards just a little bit. Drive that, but make sure you're not putting pressure on your toes, because if you do that, you're going to be putting downward force into that kneecap, which you don't want. It's too uncomfortable for the knees. Too much pressure. You've got 3. Good. Go for 2. 1 more. You're going to get low and hold. 5 pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Put the weight down. You're going to lie on your right side this time, right forearm on your mat. Feet are back. Knees are stacked. Roll that right shoulder back and down, hips tucked in. You lift the hips, extend your left leg, toes are down, and you're going lower and lift. Lower, lift. And with this one, it's not just glute work. You're also really working that upper body.
Am I lifting my bottom as well?
No, just the leg.
So I'm just lifting my leg.
Just the leg with this one. Everything else is stationary. You're maintaining that contraction through the side of the body. It's just the leg abducting away from the midline.
And my toe is as much facing down as possible.
If your toe is facing down, it isolates the glute a little bit more. It stops you from using a muscle called the rectus femoris so much, which is one of your quadriceps, which can sometimes take over.
Okay.
Lift and hold, little pulses up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, lift the hips higher. Last one, and stop. Okay, come up onto your feet. We're going to go into round 2, and this time we add that little leg lift. With the weight in front of your chest, you inhale, lower, exhale, lift up. When you lift, you are squeezing your right butt cheek as much as you can. That's going to help cinch that hip in and give you a little extra glute work there. So you lower and lift. The more muscles you use, the more you're going to get from this workout, of course. You're going to create that thermogenic effect in the body, stoke that metabolism. Good. Deep breath in, you come down, exhale, lift. And you can either go slow with this one, slow on the way down, lift fast.
Am I exhaling as I go down or up?
Up. Because the effort is on the way up out of this one. That's it. Perfect, Trinny. You've got 2 more. Last one. Get down, hold that curtsy, 5 pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Weight down, round 2 of the leg lift, that side lying leg lift. So your right forearm is on your mat. That shoulder is set down into position, your feet are back. Straight line through the body, you lift the hips, keep them lifted. Extend your left leg, turn the toes down. You lower and lift. Oops, lower and lift that leg. Just for 30 seconds and then we have some pulses. And round 2, as you know, is a little more intense.
Yep.
Lift the hips a little bit higher. And you are working both sides when you do this exercise because you're lifting with that left leg, but that right side is having to keep you lifted up as well. 2 more. Last one, 10 pulses. Go for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Lie on your back. We're going to stretch it out for a second. So you lie down, cross your right ankle over your left knee. And then pull that left leg towards you so you can get a little stretch in there. And take in some deep breaths. Good. Holding for another 3, 2, and 1. Uncross the leg. We're going to do another little core exercise. We're actually going to do bicycle crunches, but we're going to go slowly here with a couple of holds. So hands are behind your head. You can lift your chest. One at a time, bring your legs into a tabletop. Extend your right leg, rotate to your left. Hold for 2, 1, center. Rotate to your right, hold for 2, 1, center. Rotate and hold, 2, 1, center. Keep the chest lifted, and you want to keep those hips nice and heavy on the ground so you're not rocking to one side. Elbows are wide. Good. Perfect. And if you get that leg a little lower, a little closer to the ground, the lower part of the stomach is going to kick in more here. Nice. Inhale, exhale to rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate again. Perfect. We're going to come into some little holds in 15 seconds time. And as I always say, if you do need to rest within that time, take the rest. You've got another 2. You're going to rotate and hold, Trinny. I want you just to hold it to that left knee. Static hold. Good. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides, holding for 8. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Rest for a second if you need, that's fine. 6, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn for 6. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn for 4. We're nearly there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch for 4. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1, turn, you've got 2-second hold. 2, 1, switch for 2 seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Give those knees a hug, rock from side to side. And then we're going to go into a little rotation as well. So I want you to bring your hands into that, your arms into a 90-degree position, or the cactus position. Cross your right leg all the way over your left leg. Lift your legs towards your torso and lower them to the left, look to your right. So you're rotating the body and you're getting in a stretch for the chest. And the abdominals will be on a little bit of a stretch as well. And you can release the back too. We're going to hold here for 6 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Exhale, come to the center, and you're going to switch to do the same stretch on the other side. Good. Lifting the legs up and lowering them to the right. Look to the left. And you can place your right hand on that left knee just to press it down and encourage a bigger stretch, bigger rotation. Good. Holding for another 5. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bring yourself back to the center. Uncross your legs. Have a big stretch out so your arms reach above your head. Your legs reach down as if you've just woken up. That's it. Stretch those arms. Always feels good. Squeeze the butt so you release the front of the hips. And then bring those arms down. Bend your knees. Turn over. Push yourself up. And we need a chair for this next exercise. We're going to do some tricep dips. We haven't done those for a little while.
No, we still have not.
And we want to keep those arms strong and sculpted.
Okay.
So, tricep dips. Palms are next to your hips, fingertips are turned forwards, shoulders are set back. Hips just off the seat, shoulders are back. And you're going to lower and press. Inhale to lower, exhale to press. The more lengthened out your legs are, the harder it's going to be, because the more of your body weight you have to push up. Good. Perfect. And this is just getting the back of the arm. Tightening it up, keeping it nice.
Back your wings, bat wings, ladies. Come on, let's get them hard.
This is a bat wing exercise, yes. Bingo wings, bat wings, banishing those bat wings. You've got another 3. Good. Go for 2. Last one, Trinny. That's it. Take a seat on the chair. You're going to shake off those wrists, roll them around a couple of times, roll those shoulders back, and we're going to superset this with another exercise that's going to challenge the triceps but isometrically. So, hands are down on your mat. It is a plank variation. You're going to bring your knees up towards your left elbow. Then, back to the center, rotate the body towards the right. Bring your knees up towards your right elbow.
Now, I'm sorry, Nat, I'm lost already. Tell me what you're doing.
Okay. So, you're in a high plank, legs are straight. You turn to your left and walk your feet up so your knees come up towards your right elbow. If I just tilt my camera down, you should be able to see me a little easier. So you're going to rotate, bring the knees up, back to the center, rotate to the other side, bring the knees up, back to the center, lift. Good. So it's like a modified mountain climber, but you're adding in a rotation, which is going to challenge the side of the stomach a little bit more. That's it. And then if you start to go a little faster, you're going to add in a very gentle cardiovascular element. So you raise the heart rate a little bit. Good. So you lift, lengthen, lengthen. And you get into a nice flow of it. You're here for 20 more seconds. That's it. Try to keep the hips down a little bit more. So if your hips are slightly lowered, you're going to be challenging the stomach a little bit more. 10 more seconds to go. And then little rest. Good. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Time to stand up. You're going to roll those shoulders back, grab some water. Have a little breather. And then we're going into round 2 of this superset. So the chair is required again. Fingertips turned forward, shoulders step back, hips just off your chair, legs lengthened. You lower, push, lower, push. If you do have anything up with your wrists, you can get a book or some weights, arms above the head, and bend and extend the arms instead. Or you can hold 2 dumbbells or 2 water bottles and extend and bend like this. Or because tricep dips, they are a really tough exercise. Oh. But if you have some people have arthritis in their wrists, then it can be very uncomfortable. You're here for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, shake off those wrists, roll them around, roll those shoulders back a couple of times. And then you're going into your second exercise. Okay, so hands down. Knees lifted, and we're rotating to the left. Bring the knees up towards that left elbow, back to the center, then right elbow back to the center. So we're adding in a little bit of movement in the plank, which is going to raise the heart rate slightly. And you're going to feel that upper body is still working really hard because of those tricep dips. So if you need to rest, absolutely take the rest. And then when you're ready, you can get back into it. You've still got 20 more seconds. And it's the last time you're doing this. 10 seconds, doing really well, Trinny. Nice deep breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, roll those shoulders back a couple of times. Grab a drink. We're between sets. You're coming into your last set. So we're nearly finished with this workout, with this Friday full body session.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I want you to come into a squat. You're going to squat and lift the arms. Squat, lift the arms. If you can, you're going to squat and rise up onto the toes and lift the arms. So you're getting the calves working as well. And this is gentle cardio. It's low impact cardio, not too much pressure on the joints, but it's fast-paced movement, and you're working more than one muscle group. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And when you lift, you're squeezing your bum, your hips are tucked. And if you can, you come up onto your toes. Always good to get in that little bit of calf work. Good. And it's just 30 seconds of work here. Perfect. You're over halfway through. Let's go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Good. You're going to lie on your mat. We need to bring in some back work for it to be full body. So you're going to lie on your stomach. So lying on your stomach, we are coming into the Pilates swimmers, which are notoriously difficult. Hips tucked, lift the arms, and then you're going to...
What are we doing? going to be lift your head a tiny bit and pull back your arms and forward and pull them back. Forward and kind of lift them off the floor. Come back. 5, 6, 7. Clench your bottom if you helps you. 8, 9, 10. Okay, take a breather for a second. Lift your arms back. Okay. Will she come back? No, she's gone. Okay, I'm going to get her. Don't worry, ladies. Don't worry. I'm calling to the phone, and I'm going to get her so we can finish off. Okay. All right, hold on a second. Natalie, there she is. Her Wi-Fi just needs to get better. Nat?
Hi Trinny, I don't know what happened there. Good work. I did see you do those Superman exercises. Come up onto your feet. We're going to go into round 2 of the squats with the reach. And then the second one is going to be the Pilates swimmers where you kick your arms and legs. Okay? So I want you to have your feet just shoulder width or a little wider, toes slightly turned out. Squat down, hips push back, touch the ground. Rise up, lift the arms, lift your heels. Inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, exhale. If you get some speed going on here and it doesn't make you feel dizzy, you can
Should our feet be slightly turned out?
Toes are slightly turned out.
Okay. And clenching the bottom on the way up as we lift off.
Exactly, as if you're zipping yourself up, rising up onto those heels. It just gives you more stability and it's great because you get in that extra little bit of butt work. Strong glutes mean you're going to have a healthier back and knees as well. Strong glutes are the foundations of everything. Right, you're here for another 15 seconds. Good. If you want, you can bring your feet a little bit further apart, Trinny. Then you can probably get a bit deeper in your squat. Sit and lift. Good. I want to see 3 more. 3. Go for 2. And last one. Excellent. Right. Now you're going to lie on your stomach. So Trinny, this is the exercise I think it cut off when I was trying to shut. So your arms reach forwards and you alternate kicking your arms. Your arms are straight and you're lifting your arms and legs and kicking them. You know the Pilates swimmers, which is like the 100 exercise. So you're lifting your arms like this and you're doing the same with your legs. Legs are straight. You're squeezing your butt as much as you can. That's it. You inhale for 5. And exhale for 5, just like in the 100. So you inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Really tough on the whole of the back. You're going to work the back of the legs. You're going to be working the muscles around your spine. It's great for the posture. Keep your arms as straight as possible.
I can't move back my shoulder.
Okay, no problem. You've got another 5 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Rest in your child's pose. Nice deep breaths. Perfect. And you're going to slowly roll up. Roll those shoulders back a couple of times. And let's go into a really nice stretch session because it's Friday. We want to feel that we're going into the weekend with a nice, supple, relaxed body. I want you to lie down, and you're going to actually start off with the rotation. So I want you to bring your arms out to the side, cross your right leg all the way over your left leg, lift your knees towards your torso, and lower your legs to the left and look to your right. Take hold of your left hand and place it on the outside of your right knee. Sorry. Good. Really nice stretch there. And every time you exhale, see if you can get that arm down towards the ground a little bit more. Really deep breaths. Holding for another 10 seconds. great to see you in person on Wednesday, Trinny.
Good. It was good to see you too, Nat.
Even though you have, the last couple of weeks, I know you've had some problems with your knees and with your HRT and not being there. I know it gives
It
a big
arrived
impact on the
yesterday.
body.
It arrived yesterday, so I'm
Right.
very happy.
But you did look really toned. Like you looked different from the last time that I saw you in person.
Well, I'm still, I mean, when I say I'm not having sugar, I haven't had any, like, sugar. You know,
Yeah.
so I've had fruit.
Which sides?
But I haven't had kind of like, you know, usually I'll have vanilla syrup in my coffee and then I'll have a few of the sweets and then I'll have ice cream. So I haven't had anything like that.
Yeah. So, and that is really fantastic and it makes such a huge difference.
But my snacks, I still feel I want a snack.
Yeah.
A spelt cracker with some peanut butter and a cherry or two on the top.
And that's great, but fruit's fine because fruit contains, people are scared of fruit now for some reason because of the sugar, but fruit contains so many phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals, and they work with each other that you can't get from a tablet. Like we're designed to eat these foods, especially with the seasons. And cherries are amazing.
Love cherries.
Back to the centre.
You know, Charles is eating so many cherries at night, and I've noticed he's really falling asleep quickly. And I forget that, like, night cherry powder is that thing that helps you sleep, isn't it?
That's right, because cherries contain a precursor to serotonin. So they help you fall asleep, especially sour cherries. And so chemically speaking, they have a way of crossing the blood-brain barrier and create the chemical to feel sleepy. So especially, sour cherries, for example, that they put in cherry night powder. So cherries are actually a great thing to have in the evening as a bedtime, well, not bedtime.
They make you tired.
Exactly.
I never put them two together.
Exactly, they're a magical food. So if you have cherries at night, you're going to feel sleepy. You're going to reach the arms.
That just suddenly makes so much sense.
Yeah. Reach the arms up above your head. Reach your legs long. So I've also discovered the pippin nut, and maybe I shouldn't tell you this, Trinny.
Tell me.
Be having it by the tablespoon. It's the coconut and almond butter. Oh my goodness. Drizzle that over some cherries. It's so good. Okay, you're going to bring those arms down next to your hips and take hold of the back of your right leg. Extend and bend that right leg. So you're interlinking your fingers behind the right leg and then you're extending and bending. Good. And straighten the other leg, that's it. Nice deep breath in to bend the knee and exhale to extend. Trinny, will this workout be saved? There's a couple of people asking.
Yeah, I will save it. They're always saved to IGTV.
Yeah.
But last week or on Monday, maybe there was one that it didn't save. I couldn't save it. So
yeah, there's lots.
Always, if you go to my grid, like where you see my main pictures, and there's like these little icons above. And the one on the left shows a grid. Then there's one that shows a play button, and the third one shows an old-fashioned outline of a TV with an aerial. If you click on that, you're in IGTV. And then you just choose series and you choose exercise and there's all of your films there.
Yeah. You're going to now switch to do the same on the other side, Trinny. So I want you to take the other leg and extend and bend. And if you are at home and you've got a band, a towel, anything that you can just hook around your foot, this makes the stretch a lot more comfortable because you can relax the upper body a little bit more. Good, going for another 3, 2, 1 more, extend and hold it there. Good, nice deep breaths.
Because Charles has like 2 punnets, huge punnets of cherries.
Does he really? Is he still having the ice cream as well, or is it just...
No, he's just having the cherries.
Okay.
So he stopped with the ice cream, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and he switched to panic some cherries.
It's because it's like, you know, he's so quickly asleep, and I was thinking, but
That's right. Cherries are a magical little sleep inducer. If you have, so are oats. Oats contain tryptophan, which also help you fall asleep. So if you have some oats, some cherries, a little bit of milk, cashew milk.
How would you have the oats?
Sorry?
How would you have the oats?
I literally would get some oats and some milk and put some. I love frozen cherries. Put some frozen cherries in, and maybe drizzle a little bit of the coconut almond butter on, because it tastes quite sweet. Because coconuts naturally taste sweet, even though it hasn't got sugar.
So
in.
you would put oats with cherries and the coconut butter and mush it together.
Yeah, and just eat it almost like a cereal, and then I'll have that as a dessert or a bit of
with milk.
Yeah, or some Nush almond yogurt. They do a really delicious strawberry one or raspberry one, and that's very low in sugar. A few oats, cherries.
So it's a yogurt made of almonds.
Yogurt made with almonds, yeah.
Not
like coconut yogurt.
Because I suppose lactic acid is made, you know, from almond milk.
Yeah, so they put the cultures in.
Made from milk.
That's got all the probiotic cultures in, but it's dairy free. But then dairy also helps you sleep at night. So because of some of the amino acids that are in there. I'm going to turn over, Trinny, and I want you to flex and extend the spine. But I can add to my stories like a nighttime snack if you're trying to avoid desserts and sweets.
No,
I'll add
that would be so great, Nat.
Yeah. You're going to flex your spine one more time, come to neutral, and then let's go into your hip flexor stretch. So I want you to bring your right foot forwards. Your hips are going to be tucked in. Engage your left glute, reach your left arm up, and then lean over to the right.
Sorry, am I standing now?
You're not. You're in a split knee position. So your right foot is forward and your left knee is down on your mat. We're going into your hip flexor stretch. That's where you lean over. And taking some really deep breaths. Holding for another 3, 2, 1. Back to the center. Let's switch to do the same on the other side. Left foot is forwards and your right knee is down. Deep breath in, reach your right arm up. And then lean over to the left. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Back to the center. Come up onto your feet. We're just going to quickly stretch out the neck. I want you to flex your hands and tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. Take your left hand and just gently place it on the right side of your head. And then look down towards your left pocket. Take hold of the back of the head. Back to the center. And then switch to do the same on the other side. Good, so you feel that elongation through the upper traps. And then look down towards your right pocket. Take hold of the back of your head. Come back to the center. Take hold of the base of your neck. You're going to tilt your head up towards the left corner of the room. And slowly look down and then up towards the opposite corner. Back to the center. Roll those shoulders back a couple of times. And you're free, you're ready for the day.
But I don't feel free because I enjoyed that, which was so great. I really enjoyed it today. Yeah, that was a great way to start the weekend, everybody. I mean, I felt we were committed, we were there. There were more people today. I felt we were all in there. Also, I want to say, does anyone want to buy a Peloton bike that's never been used? I got it here. This cockapoo's going to kill me. I got it here. It's sitting here. I've been on it once, and I just realized I'm never going to be a Peloton person. So I'll sell it, you know, at a good price. But if you feel you'd like to buy my Peloton, it's the top of the range, newest one. DM me, okay? So it's never, ever, ever going to be used.
I saw it, Trinny, and I thought, This does look pretty fresh, this Peloton.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out how much on eBay they sell for, and I'll sell it for whatever they're selling for on eBay. Hang my clothes on it, love to, but no, it's becoming an eyesore. Okay.
I recommend people getting a Peloton. I think you're going to have you're going to be overwhelmed with people wanting that Peloton now, Julie.
Why? Do you think you should have a Peloton? Do you think people should have Pelotons?
Pelotons, I think they're a fantastic way of doing a workout in your head. If you're pushed for time, it's right there. You've got an instructor. Like you say, it's not for everyone. And personally, I don't like spinning, so I wouldn't have it. But some people.
I know Booth Cockapoo loves it.
Yeah. I have clients. They do it every day. They love it.
Redette hands her washing on the cross trainer. I love you, Redette. But there's some people, when they love it, they love it. So, okay, I will think about how much it's going to be. Now I'm thinking, should I sell it? But anyway, have a wonderful day. This is Singapore Friday afternoon. My God, I love how around the world we are.
Yeah.
Everybody have a best weekend and catch up soon on Monday. It will be at 8 a.m. on Natalie's channel, because I'm just got a very manic week next week. Okay, and I'll be doing it too now. Thank you, darling. Have a good weekend.
Bye, have a great
Bye-bye.
weekend.
All right.